Okay, we're live. I'm gonna email Carla. Here's some. Charles, go down to the videos on the right under brand.
Yep.
And I got Joe. I got the bottom 5 videos are all Joe. Okay, if you could just click on those, it'll play them. And I'm gonna get Joe on the other. I'm gonna try to get Joe on. Okay.
Okay, rolling.
Roger Simon did it twice. Roger Simon swept in 2000 and in 2001. He actually won 8 out of 9 consecutive events there. He won 8 out of 9, it looks like. Or actually, he won in 98, 99, swept in 2000, swept in 2001, and won again in 2002. So Roger Simon did it twice, and then Jesse Petro. So he is the 6th time that has happened in the two-wheel drive class.
That's a pretty good list right there, and Greer Hamilton doing it there. That was, I kind of thought Greer may have done it, but I wasn't for sure, so.
Yes, sir. He is one of the 5 individuals. Roger Simon times 2, Greer Hamilton, Wayne Roush, Chris Holdorf, and Jesse Petro. They are your guys.
Ricky Rose on the way next, a win at Hutch. 4th place finish at Hutch. 2 modified 5th place finishes here in the modified classes. And finished 9th in the Unlimiteds. Our first hook here at the Budweiser Dairyland Super National.
Roger Simon did it twice. So running as fast backwards as he possibly could. Oh my. How about it now, Toma? Are we having fun yet?
Yeah, we've kicked up this class with a plowing of the things out of bounds, 380.045. First place right now. Pretty good distance.
Joe's here.
Joe's here.
I'm here. Amazing what technology does, you know.
This, I don't know, Joe. I apologize. Sometimes it's goofy, and it's not just you. But I figured, if you can tune 5 engines, you can get onto our show. So that's all I'm gonna say. Or 4 big ones, right, Joe?
Something like that.
Well, it is an honor to have you on our show. We do this every Monday night, Joe. We call it Let's Grow Pulling, where we interview promoters, upcoming events, pullers. Marty Wilson is a good friend of yours, and he called me yesterday and said, "Hey, do you want to get Joe on the show?" I said, "I'd be honored," and because everybody was talking about your 380-foot pass Saturday night in Toma, and he sent some of the videos and stuff like that. So, Joe, welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. Thank you for being on tonight. It means the world to us. For those of you that are watching, and if you have a question for Joe, please type it into the comments, and we'll put that up on the screen, and we'll ask that to Joe. And our distinguished panel of guests, Charles Posch is right above you, Joe. Cody Vanderholm is right above you, and Big Ryan Rusink that you know from Rockwell. Well, you know Charles from Rockwell too, but
yeah,
Ryan helps with their social media. So welcome. So.
Yep, that's cool. It's appreciate it. It's kind of good to see everybody here.
It's great to have you on. So, Joe, I guess we always typically like to start at the beginning, and Charles, guys, jump in at any time. How did you get into the sport of truck and tractor pulling?
God, I don't know, 35 years ago. I started out here, with Langford and, just enjoying the show and kind of thought, boy, it'd be kind of fun to get involved. And, this started out with a single engine Economod and a couple of years of that. And, 2 carbureted, 3 carbureted. And then, and then all at once you end up with blower motors and off to Tim Engler, and then you end up at Banner Brothers, and you just kind of keep making you stay in it, you keep working, you just keep making money to spend on it, and that's all you do is just keep growing. And if you don't give up, you'll keep going. But boy, it's a long trail to get here. But we don't regret anything. It's been a wonderful career, and a win out of there like Saturday night to see that crowd stand on their feet and go crazy. It's pretty cool.
Could you hear the crowd through your helmet, Joe?
Yeah, when I shut it off, I could just see, the crowd was just pretty excited, and like years ago, I remember Engler and Banner and all those guys, and I mean, it would just shake the stands. But it's hard to believe our four motor tractors now with these big blowers and the compression we run. It's amazing how much ground pounding there is out of these four engines. It's makes for quite a ride.
Those are kind of some big name drops there. Banner, Engler, Joe. I don't know. I know Charles is getting a little giddy up there on the top hearing those names. So you started with a single engine modified tractor back in the day? Like, do you remember what year that would have been?
Oh, God. He'd have to sit in with me and he could do all my, corrections here. But that's probably back in like 86, 87. And,
okay.
So that, just the Economod class, single engine, big block. And then we went to Indy Super Pool that year, and Walsh Brothers and all those guys, I saw all that stuff, and it's like, boy, I got to add another motor. And so, we added another carbureted big block crank to crank and pulled here on New York State, and, had a lot of fun with it. And then I think we went to Bob Moore, which is out of a local guy here, and moved to Tennessee, and we bought his tractor, which used to be Fred Freeman's tractor. And, so it's kind of cool how many of those big names and, stuff that a lot of us guys surfaced with over the years to, make our career go, so pretty cool. So I think that was a twin and then a triple, and then that one pulled up real good. It had an old John Deere rear end in it. So we ended up going with Tim Engler, built us basically a 3, 4, 5 engine tractor with Chevrolets on it, and Indy Super Pull was our first pull with that. And, we had a lot of fun with that tractor, ran that for probably 3 or 4 years. And then Ralph Banner jumped in, built me a 4-motor tractor. And that's when we started running with NTPA Unlimited or modified. And, Banner's quit there, I believe, in 96. And that's when Ralph Banner went on the road with me and, spent 2-3 years with me. And I think our first title was in 97. So it was pretty cool. And, have a guy like that traveling with you every weekend and pounding that knowledge in your head. I mean, it was Army Corps. I mean, the guy was, he was good, but boy, he was tough on you, and you had to listen. It was his way or no other way. And you could make a heck of a run and win the class. And boy, he would scold you if you had your wheels cranked or you didn't do exactly as he said. So, but yeah, it's been good. We've had a lot of good people help us along the way.
You mentioned the Indy Super Bowl. Is that the biggest crowd you've ever been in front of? Like, did that rival Bowling Green crowds of today, or what are some of the biggest crowds you've ever been in front of?
I've been to Pontiac Silverdome. We did a little pulling with, I guess it'd be like TNT, SRO Pace, just right there, right when they were kind of finishing up. I kind of, pulled a little bit in there. And, so I remember that Pontiac Silverdome was just huge.
That was the first time I ever saw you in person, was at the Silverdome.
Okay. Yeah. And then Toronto Skydome. We've been there.
Toronto Skydome?
Yeah. Yeah. We pulled inside there, and, a lot of indoor pulls. I remember New Haven, Connecticut, it was 26 below zero. I had an old school bus. We pulled the bus down inside the Coliseum at night, slept in there, worked on the tractor. We were pulling against all the good guys, the TNT, the Fred Freeman, Mike Piper, Arfons, just a Paul Norman, all them guys. And I remember Paul Norman putting his cowboy hat out there at the 250-foot mark. That's where we had to shoot for. And, that's where he was headed for. And I remember we went about 270 and beat him, so it was a pretty good weekend.
That's
awesome.
Well, I love hearing the stories of the early days when you got started, and the fact that you, Joe Eder, was in a bus and it was 26 below and you slept in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not,
yeah, I had my fire suit on.
I know, no, has a toter.
Yeah, it's amazing how things change. I remember, like 87-cent gas, stopping here in Cleveland, filling up. You stop in Fort Wayne. I mean, you just basically every 3 hours you filled the bus up with gas and you keep going, and eventually end up in Toma, Wisconsin in a school bus. And then you wonder Sunday night, are we going to make it home? It's, I remember being there, a 5-engine tractor and a $1,800 school bus, and it, but that's what we had to do. And we had a good time, time moves on and our haulers get fancier. And, now we carry 2 spare engines, about every part for the tractor. And, it's just a shop on wheels, and you got to live in the thing. We ran hard yesterday to get home, to get the thing unloaded, and it's all apart in the shop right now. It's going through its full maintenance plan right now, just to kind of find out our good points, bad points. It did lay down some nice runs this weekend. That just there's some things, and and all that being new, that I got to address, and I hope we can make it a little better. I mean, performance-wise, that deal on Saturday night, that was just, one of those bonsai runs that, we all have a shot at once in a while. I mean, the tractor's not that good, not that strong. It's just the combination hit the conditions just right, We got a hell of a field of competition that's going to make this class awesome all year to watch. Bollinger with them 3 motors of them screws. I mean, the guy's got weight. He's an awesome driver, good chassis. Tires are top notch. I mean, they're going to be perfect. Richardson all year. Billy Beer's going to be good. Griswolds are getting their stuff together. They'll be out here real shortly. And, so we're going to end up in Chuck Knapp. He had a bad weekend. I feel bad for the guy. He's got a really good piece there, but boy, just things fell apart quick. He'll be back. He'll be fine. He'll get it together, and he'll be coming on really strong.
When is your next unlimited hook then, Joe?
Chapel Hill. So we got 3 weeks off, and I need it. I just, the tractor's ready to go now if we had to, but again, I really want to spend some time here and get this thing in good shape. And we got 3 weekends in a row. When we go to Chapel Hill, we go to Fort Recovery, and we got to go to Rockwell, and that's going to sort everybody out, so it, we got a lot of parts. We just got to make sure that everything's ready. This tractor here, I'm just worried about rear ends. I'm really concerned about ring and pinions and, bearings in the rear end. And, I got it set up, this tractor. It should be about 18 minutes to do a rear end swap. But every single thing that it was a pain over the last year, in the hot sun and gear oil and changing all this stuff, I said, that's it, so I got it set up now with a chain fall that goes inside the roll cage, a little track that goes down through it. Everything's quick change. It's got button covers on the outside of the axles to knock the covers off quick, pop your axles out, so we don't have to take the wheels off, deal with that. So drain on the rear end, it can drain the oil quick. And, just a lot of thought went into this tractor. I've been at it for a long time, and I just said, we're going to build one more, and let's put everything we got there that we can just make things easy and nice to work on. And, that's what makes her good.
Awesome. If you're just joining us, of course, that is JOE EDER right in front of you. One of the, he's too humble, but I'll say one of the best in the business, and he'll disagree with me. He just talked about how tough this competition is. But when, like all of us, we hear JOE EDER's name and the Polar Air, we just know a good hook is coming. I noticed on your fire suit, and Marty sent me some pictures. Let me pop one on the screen. You're still sponsored by Polar Air, but your fire suit has that EMAC on it. Is that something new there?
Yeah, it's a new division. Boy, look at me. I look like a new kid on the block staring at the smoke, huh?
It's kind of a cool picture. It's something Ryan Rusnick would do. Take a cool picture.
Yeah, I was actually picking my lane right there. So,
you guys actually read the track? I figured you just went out there and just give her.
That's we spend hours just, I don't even know what we're looking at anymore, but, we kind of maybe have an idea. But, yeah, it's EMAX. It's an online division there of Polar Air, where you can go online and you can buy through Home Depot, Lowe's, Tractor Supply. Matt Cain's worked very hard to put this whole industry together and just build a beautiful all-American product, and then put it out here, and then basically gave us the thrill to promote it for him and market it for him. So it we hope a win on Sunday's a sale on Monday for him. It's if we do good and make him look good, then we can hopefully sell his product. And we sold a lot of stuff for him over the years, and it's been a very good combination. And good relationship with them guys, and all our sponsors are good. We just you got a picture of Marty there. It's just there's a guy who could have figured his computer out immediately, so we wouldn't have had any trouble with technical stuff with Marty in the pictures. So
I want to thank Marty because he called me yesterday and then asked me who could if I could get you on the show, or if we could talk you into it. I'm like, that would be awesome. And I texted all the guys right away. I'm like, I think we can get Joe Eder on, and everybody's like, holy cow. So.
Yeah, no, you call anytime. We'll help you out. We'll do what we can for you.
We appreciate that a lot. Who's that in the picture with you right there?
That's Barney. He started me out. I was 15 years old, and I gave my phone number at a tractor pull and said I'd like to go to a pull sometime. He had a single engine Economod, and I spent a couple 3 weekends with him and a bunch of old biker guys, and they're just wonderful people. And he's still with me today, and he helps me. He's my starter man, and 70 years old, but he's we just take our time and don't get rattled, and he does a good job for me. So we can cover 1,000 miles, no problem. One sitting in the big truck with him telling stories, and if he starts to repeat them, you just deal with it and listen to them again, because they're usually pretty good.
Yep, I love it. We're going to get into the questions, Joe. We got quite a few of them. All of us went out on our social media today.
Yeah.
Said, hey, we have Joe Eder on the show tonight. So one of them from YouTube was, and the guy's name is Caterpillism. That's his name on YouTube. But he said, I met Joe Eder one time. He's friends with my family in New York. And I was going to ask him about tractor pull and stuff, but I got so nervous. I just asked him which pile of mulch was the kind I needed. He has a mulch business, for those who may be confused. So I just thought that was a cute story, Joe. I wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
You guys, if you have anything here, let's see here. Let's start the top. Okay. Robert Capo says, hello, everyone from New Brighton, Pennsylvania. I've met Joe before at the Canfield Fair. That's Canfield, Ohio, right?
Yep. Yeah.
During the one rainout year, he made me a fan of his by signing a photo at his trailer. So thank you for watching tonight, Robert. Somebody asked, is that the bus that Donnie Deeves drives around? Yeah, Jason Rack. He says, that's the same bus that Don Dean drives around in.
Yeah, it's something very similar to that. I'm not that creative. Don is quite the amazing man. When I went to Jet Turbines, when I bought the Walsh Brothers tractor with Bill Leichner, we partnered up on that deal. I was out of Poland for about 4 hours when I sold my the Odd Couple tractor, that tractor that let us down a record holding 21 hits, and that was a good tractor. And I sold that tractor to the Ferry Brothers, and Don Dean called me when I bought that pile of turbine stuff there, and it was Super Bowl night, and he called me at kickoff, and it was there was 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter when he hung up the phone. So that's how long Don Dean was telling me about turbine engines. And he's the kind of guy you would never tell him, you got to go, because he just a wealth of knowledge in that. But yeah, back to the school bus with him. That guy is, I seen him in Florida with that thing this year, and it, I don't run Bud tire or them old split rims or whatever he had on that old bus. I'm scared to death to see that. But him and the dog, and he's happy as can be, and he kicks butt down there and just keeps on going. It's pretty neat.
It is. At least you see him everywhere. It is. Love it. Love it. He's enjoying life. He's loving his life.
Yeah. He's a great guy. Yeah. There's all them people are good people.
Colin Burkholt says Billy Beers knows how to get the crowd going.
Oh, geez. Billy's been a crowd entertainer forever. Cuba, New York. Wayne Butts is a really good friend of ours here, and competition director. And Wayne Butts could definitely get riled up with Billy Beers in town, and it was just the guy knew how to push everybody, and he's just a lot of fun to be around, but sometimes his little comments to the crowd, you got to be a little careful there nowadays. But when I told him the other night was pretty good, and whatever happens. So
yep. No, that was great. That was great. Mike Steffen wants to know, what was the horsepower of the 7-engine mod versus today's 4-engine?
Back in, like Tim Engler and Banners, back in the day, them were 12, 1300, big block Chevys, they were all, Engler always had a little better stuff. He always had Indy cylinder heads, and Ralph Banner ran the Brodax, and, Vertex Mags were probably Engler maybe had Mallory, and the blowers, I think Tim Engler, probably is one of the first guys to have the high helix blower, where, again, Ralph had a deal with Mert Littlefield, and he would always end up with a, really nice 871. And so that motors, always made 12, 1,500, maybe 1,700, so, and these things now, I mean, it's just unbelievable. The pour 23, 24 gallon of fuel in on that run, like the other night there, I always, fuel it after we run to see where we're at, make sure the girl's still drinking, and it's hard to believe, at 8.5 second run like that, it will drink that much fuel, but
24 gallons, Joe?
about 23.5. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, I would say back in the day, a 7-engine tractor like that's probably making about 8,500 horse, so it, now we're, I would say we're probably 12, 13,000, and it's just, it's getting to the point where we just got to be careful. I mean, there's certain tracks that can hold that power, like the other night there at Toma, that was one of the best tracks. That rain, I've always said Mother Nature builds pulling tracks, and when I woke up and it was raining during the morning, I was just blessed to have that, because I knew I'd have a good track for that night, and the night before it was a decent track. It, it didn't really take the big power to win it, but, everybody's got to pull on the same track. That's what you always got to remember. So it's up to you to tune your stuff accordingly,
No, that's awesome. That's
Joe,
awesome.
when you tune motors, when you get to a track that won't take the power, just for an example, how much power are you guys dialing out?
I can get rid of, pretty easy 300 horse of motor, and, that will, I got other things, that I do to lane my tractor up. I drive with brakes, and everybody knows I do, but, it just, there's a little bit of a science behind that, because I've built a lot of tractors for guys. I help them out of the shop, and all the ones that, they'll end up with a lot of broken parts, or you can get a tractor upset, or, and all that. So it, but I just got different ways, we detune our stuff, and, and try to, put it to the ground. It's that big full load of corn in the middle of the field that you got to get out to the road with nobody around. You're going to get stuck. So you got to be creative and figure out how you got to get it to the other end quick. So that's how we always figured it.
I love that. What mile per hour do you think you spin the rear wheels, Joe?
It's, there's a formula on that. So, I would say we're, 140, 145, 50, it's, there's some guys, turn a little more RPM, but the gear ratio will maybe be a little softer. So it, but it's all right in there, all I know is we got to work on tires about every run, like that Toma dirt, you can't hurt them up there, but we still work on tires every pass. We like to have good tires every run, just knock all the things out of the equation, so we can figure like we got a 100% chance of, if all the cards come together, there's, good shot that we could, keep the thing in the top 5 or 7,
Are all you guys running the Mitas, Joe, or do you see some different tire combinations?
I really don't, see anything different than these good tires. They're a good tire. They're heavy. They're hard on parts. I mean, I got 7 sets yet of the Puller 2000s in the shop on rims. And, if they ever say that, we have to go back to them tires, I'm ready. I love these tires. I mean, I'm one of the very first ones in the States to run them. And, we just had a really good set to start out with. And, they've been a good tire to us, but they're really hard on rear ends. They just hook so hard that it just really abuses our parts, and there's a point there at some point where you just gotta, we all have them. There's nothing we can do, but at some point, if we all keep breaking rear ends and all that, and then we're gonna have to come up with something else,
Yep. No, understood
So-
completely.
Joe, you talked about a bunch of indoor polls. How much of a difference does that make? So like at Louisville this year, I mean, it was probably 30 degrees cooler at the start of the track as it was at the end of the track. How are you setting those up, going through from one to the other when it's cold outside?
Yeah, it's you know, I haven't lost my I got 9 wins down there at Louisville, and you know, that's pretty cool. You know, I've always loved that pull and that, but you know, now that I settled into Florida during the winter, it's kind of fun to go down there. And I was painting the inside of my house on Wednesday night when Louisville Farm Show was going on, and I sat there and wondered, boy, this is crazy. I got 9 record win streak there, not streak, but you know, through the years, you know. So, and here I am painting a house, you know. So that was kind of weird for me last year, but you know, the tuning in there, I don't know. I never ran that close on a tune-up, so I mean, I still don't. You know, I can't afford the, you know, the breakage and you know, burning the parts and all that. You know, I just got to have good, consistent power every run for my operation to get down the track, and then I got my other box of tricks that I can throw with it to try to get it all to come together. You know, so I don't do it all with those. So.
Brian Cligora says, "What's your greatest achievement in polling?" So, like, what are you most proud of, Joe, over the years?
You know, the European trip was just really a really cool thing. It was good. It was, you know, we took 21 people, our sponsors, you know, family, brothers, and you know, good close friends and all that. And that was a really cool accomplishment, you know. And then COVID hit, you know, and they shut that down. And I don't know. The president was over to Bowling Green. I talked to him, and I don't think they'll ever do that poll again, you know. So I might have had the last ship right over, and you know, kind of sad. You know, it'd be nice to have some, you know, other people get an opportunity to do what I did there. But you know, the 21 straight wins, you know, back when we were really good at this game, you know, it was pretty cool to, you know, to lay that down. And you know, Bill Leishner and I met a bit, you know, competing, battling all the time back and forth, and the knowledge that guys like him have helped me through the years, you know. And I just I came up through a time where I watched all these guys, John Heilman, Pat Friels, Fred Freeman, you know, Ralph and Dave Banner. I really appreciate you know, what them guys have done. You know, it's just it's really cool. You know, John Powell, he just called me here, you know, a month ago, and we talked a little bit, and you know, just a really good bunch of people, you know. So I'm good to carry the torch for a while yet. You know, I don't know how much longer, but we'll keep on going. It's we're having a good time.
Good. All right. So, you know, so Brad says, "Great run, Joe." Charles, can you play here? Can you play the video from Saturday night again? And told him what were those sparks at the end of the run, Joe?
Yep.
I fixed it here. Honestly, 4:30 this morning. I was out in the shop because I'm not right. I just my tractor's part of me, so if something ain't right with that, I got to work on that thing and get it right. So I'm out in the shop at 4:30, and I'm just half burned out from driving all day or all night, whatever. So, but what it was weird, but the floater plate actually broke a finger out of it in part of the stand, and it actually rubbed on the bell housing liner, and again, NTPA with their Richmond with his rules and all that, he did a great job there having a liner in there. Everything did exactly what it's supposed to. It just it made lunch real quick, and we just threw everything away and put a new clutch in it, and she's good to go now. But yeah, I saw that. So I mean, we had fireworks from one end, and then of all things, we had a valve cover loose on one motor. There was just one end there was just shooting a little oil out. So it you know, so we had a little bit of everything going on from all directions on that thing. But all said and done, it made a hell of a run, and the crowd loved it. So it was pretty cool.
Charles, can you pop that video up? That's just awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's you know, in the ground speed there, probably it probably hit 41, 42 there at some point, maybe 43, so everything's good until, you get a coupler that comes off, or, a ring and pinion goes out, and boy, that thing comes crashing to the ground. And then you actually see Elvis at one point of your life. So it's, but yeah, it's, that's when everything's set up right, that's a fun tractor to drive. I've only had, a couple of passes on it yet. I think it's going to be a good one. Like I said, we spent a lot of time this, Brad Corporal. I mean, it's kind of a cool story. Ralph Banner helped me build my first 4-engine tractor, and he, guided me through everything. And he said, why don't you go home and start building these for a few people? So that's how we kind of jumped in and started building tractors, and Ralph would make the parts for me and send them to me, and, front axles, hitches, and, different things. And I'd be welding and putting it all together. So it was just a cookie cutter little deal we had, and we built a lot of stuff. And we ended up with 93 tractors, time we got done. And, Ralph started slowing down, retiring. So Brad, Corporal, and Les, they, started building stuff for us, and, still buying a little stuff from Angler and that. And, it turned out to be a good little business. It just, it took so much time, like I watched poor Brad Corporal walk around the pool the other night, and, he's on the phone constantly talking to people. My tractor went left, went right. I broke this. You got this Monday morning. And I remember all them days. And I just got to the point where I got so burned out and tired, where just babysitting rich guys, I call it. There was we had a few high rollers that came through that, they had to win. And, you can't win every time. And, the sport, it's made for everybody to have a shot at it, and these people just, I just got sick of these kind of high rollers, so I went back and worked with a few of the smaller guys, Tim Kane and all these good pro stock guys. We started building a lot of them, and Bill Miller and them, and it, had a lot of fun with them kind of guys, and, but just kind of worked my way out of that deal and got more into, just focusing on my own stuff. And it, I think it's helped me a bunch, just staying more level-headed on my deal. And it kind of, now with these motors and everything going on, and the competition, I mean, it's just really stepped up where it's pushed us really hard. When Boyd's were in town, I mean, you had a really good crew of guys there that, every one of them guys had so much knowledge and background in the sport for many years, and it just, when you get a team together like that, with they can come to town and do a good job and, whip the hell out of you, so you got to be there with all your guns loaded, if you're going to run against them kind of guys. And it, so it made it good, competition, is what drives me, and it, I'm looking forward. I mean, we got 20 days till we go again, and, I can't wait for it to get here. I'm ready to go. It's just, can't get here soon enough, but, once it's here, we'll just take every step of the way we can and, get what we can out of it.
Awesome. Again, if you're just joining us and we still have people coming on, I think people are going, holy crap, JOE EDER's on Let's Grow Pulling Live, because the numbers just keep going up. So we're honored to have you on tonight, Joe. Shane Hunt says, I remember when I was 6 years old, when you started driving Dirt Challenger, when going from the blower motors to the turbines, did the driving style change at all?
Yeah, it was a good tractor. It was pretty cool. It, and, I just, for a kind of guy that wants to drive, like myself, that, I could, at that point, I had Larry Roberts' alcohol super stock. I was jumping in and out of, Bill Leishner's Dirt Slinger. I was running that. I didn't have a tractor at the time. So, I mean, I was kind of a little bit of a hired gun, just kind of helping guys, and then you jump in a turbine, and there's just no drivability to it, and for a guy that wants to, backpedal the throttle, step on the brakes, just do different things, and, jack the throttle, do whatever you got to do to get the thing to go. And in a turbine, it's basically a bench grinder. You flip the switch, and at the end you shut it off. And, it is a pretty respected deal. It was an experience. it was good to see it go down the road. That's I was happy to get back to V8s again and get my old power plants back. And it was an experience, but it's definitely something we have to put behind us.
Sure. Cody Singletary, he's a blown mini rod puller. I think this is his second year or first year, probably second year, Charles. Try to remember.
Yeah, second. I think.
Because
Cody
was Econo, and then he jumped up. But anyway, he said he had the pleasure of meeting you this past winter in Ocala. You're a great guy, and you had an awesome pass this weekend, by the way. So it's cool to see, to hear from fellow pullers like that. Brent Rogers says, when and where was your first Grand National win?
Well, that was funny. I told the story 3 times this weekend. It was Toma, Wisconsin, and it was I remember winning that night, and Ralph Banner telling me I was up there all by myself, and he kind of gave me an idea what was happening, which track and where to run and all that. And anyways, I remember down where Petros were parked way in the back, there's a little yellow building that used to be the outhouse, and on the side of that was a payphone. And I remember it was 12:20 at night. I called collect call to Ralph Banner, and the operator said Ralph answered, and she said, would it be okay to take a collect call from Joe? And Ralph said, yeah, I'll take a call. So that was amazing, and I called him. I said, Ralph, I said I won. And is that right? He was such a funny guy, and we kind of talked about what we did there. We still got a little secret there, but yeah, it was pretty cool. That was my first win, and we went on to Fort Recovery, Ohio the following week. We won there, and then I think there was nothing else out after that for a while, but I think that would have been 97, with Grand National, and we were out there for many years before that, but that was the year we won our first title, I believe, in 97. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody's been knowing you since then. Somebody says you had a lot of success with your old chassis. Did you sell that, or do you still have it at the shop?
This tractor here is the old chassis. It's just a remake. We put some things into it that I hate to. I don't think we could get any lighter. This tractor is pretty light in areas. There's other things that are heavy on it, but so I just chose to stay with this frame. I guess I'll tell you all what's happening here. Ken Benny's tractor, which is now Chuck Knapp's tractor, and this one here were built side by side. Ken Benny built his there, obviously, at his shop, and I built mine, and supplied each other with parts, and it was pretty cool. Only 3 hours away, I'd go down, pick a motor up, bring him some parts, and I'd be building other frames while building this one, and go down, and Ken would have just a little bit of more work done to his. The guy is so perfect and everything in particular. So, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, we built them tractors side by side, and we tried a different kind of frame rail and stuff, and just playing with different things. So it's kind of, this one here is a remake of the old one, and but back to that story I was started with there, not to wear you all out, but
Joe, you're not going to wear us out. We're all just like in awe right now. So
Ralph Banner helped me build that first tractor, and told me go home, start building these and that, and we came through 93 of the things, and been a great career, and time to get out, and I thought, boy, this would be cool. The nickname for my tractor right now is called Full Circle, and what that is we started with Ralph Banner, and we ended up all the way around the block. We came back to his nephews and his cousin there, Brad and Les Corporal, and just respect them guys a lot. They're good people, and so I wanted them to have their hands on this tractor. So I took my whole list of ideas to Brad and did quite a bit of work myself, but then Brad jumped in and did a lot of stuff and just did a beautiful job as all his work is, and that was really cool. So it's the nickname for this tractor is Full Circle, but it's Emax is the corporate name for the tractor. So
that's good. That's good knowledge, Charles. Remember that for Rockwell, buddy.
I will definitely remember that.
Devin McLaren says, Joe, your tractor is his favorite, and he also wants to know what overdrive are you allowed on your blowers for the unlimited class?
Unlimited is anything, any combination, 8,000 pounds, run what you brung, hope you brung enough.
So it truly is unlimited.
Yeah. 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 We've chose the 1871. There's pros and cons, I like the 1871 because I can run it slower. It makes a nice cool charge, and I ain't going to make the most power out of the guys out there, but I can make what I got to make it work for me, or keep her going down the track a little bit.
Jason Rack from Michigan says, you should have to pay for this knowledge, Jason. How do you read a track and decide between weight placement, tire pressure, hitch height, etc.? So don't give any secrets away, Joe, because I know Chuck Knapp's watching tonight.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. If I could help anybody, or if they could help me, because we all need it at times. But it's educated guess is 3/4 of it. Ralph Banner said if the track looks good enough to plant corn, that's a good spot in the track. So that's the threes we're going to run off of. We'll keep it at that. But tire pressure, So, it's just everybody's got their own combination. What works for me would not work for somebody else, and there's so many multiple things that when these tractors get that competitive and that close, when you start putting them down, like I said, that was a bonsai run the other night, but you're going to see some distances come up here where we all end up in the 330s, 340. And you take 6-8 tractors, you put them in there within 8 feet each other. That's pretty amazing. All the different kinds of motor combination, driving styles, gear ratios. I mean, it, so that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to when we can go out there and, knock somebody out by 3/8 of an inch. That's pretty wild.
Lisa Jostock says, what goes through your mind right before you pull? Do you get a little nervous?
Dave Banner told me many years ago, he said, if you ever lose the butterflies and don't get excited, he said, you better stay off it. It's going to turn, it'll bite you. And I go into my own little world, it's just my deal. And I just get focused in, and, I just, it's my time. And, it's just the littlest thing is a flagman holding me up, that will offset me or something, where I just, it's messing up my routine. It's no different. John Force pulling into the staging beams, he's got his, his routine, and all them drivers do, but yeah, it's a pretty, I respect it. And, especially nowadays, I mean, it just at any given second, that the rear end's going to come out of it, or the drive line or a gearbox is going to break, and you got to be there to catch it, because I was on that winning streak, 21 wins in a row, Friday night, Toma, Wisconsin. It was me, Doug Downs, and I believe it was it would be God darn it, Steve Bollinger in the pull-off. And, there's 3 of us in the pull-off, and I was first, and I went out, and, this was going to be a full, complete year, season to season, winning every event that I went to, which was pretty cool, and 150 feet front end up, and it was on its way, just signed the check. There's nothing I could do with that tractor other than just collect a win with it. It was just unstoppable. And, well, anyways, the opinion come out of it. And I wasn't ready for that, because I got to such a comfortable feeling with that tractor that it never, gave me any problems. So, well, hell, that never happened. Why would that happen? And well, anyways, that taught me a lot. And I had good people, Steve Jacks, Brian Knox, they jumped in, and, they worked on the motors. I had to work on the rear end. It was a long night, and we weren't set up for any kind of major repair like that, but we got her, and we went out, and I think we ended up second or third in the unlimited class on some, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. And, we just, but you gotta just be ready for that you know, that problem when something happens, you know, that's the big thing, you know, because it chased me for the rest of the year, you know, when that thing come unglued like that. And, you know, I thought we saved it pretty good, but we didn't. You know, we ended up with broken cranks down the road. We had bell springs that were broke, and, you know, it cost me a season, you know. Just I had to regroup and start over. And, you know, so that's why in my case, I need to go out and take 11, 12,000 horse like this and, you know, let it be your friend. And, you know, you two need to get along and work together, because if old Sally turns on you here, she'll make a lot of work for you for the rest of the year. So,
Oh, I love it. Let's see here. Doug says, what was the reason to go away from the Mini?
you know, we had a good year when we won that title there, and ended up second with the Mini Rod. Flawless, you know, no breakage and all that. And I just told myself, if we can get through the season without, you know, really starting to pull our hair out, and, you know, we got to get rid of this thing, because it, first of all, it gave me a bad ride in Benson, North Carolina. Poor Larry Kester went out trying the new tires and got in trouble, and, you know, went out of control. And I was next with the new tires, and I went up, and I ended up breaking my foot. I never really told anybody, you know, but we don't, you know, we don't worry about that stuff. You guys don't need to know all that. So but we carried the rest of the year out, you know, on that, and, you know, but smashed my lower back, you know, and I just, I got too many things going on, and you know, I gotta be in a little better shape here to carry the torch here. So I just knew I had to get rid of that thing. And that's where, our little buddy Bart there from overseas come over, and he was over most of the summer. And, you know, when I was weighing about 215 at that point, and little Bart, you put him in there at 175, 165, and, you know, Christ, we had weights everywhere on that thing. And that pushed that tractor up from the 7th to 8th place tractor, shoved it up in the winner's circle a couple times, and kept him in there 3rd and 4th, finished me out 2nd place at the end of the year. And that was pretty cool. So it was a good experience. I loved it. The class was awesome. It's so competitive. But, you know, the next year with the big tractor, you know, we really worked hard keeping rear ends in that thing. And again, this thing here, I can tell you it's going to be a handful. It's going to be a long summer. You know, if, you know, I just got to be there and be ready and be available to keep it going, or we're going to fall behind. So.
Awesome. That's good. That's good to know. Jason Rack must have went and watched at least Joe Stuck's poll. What poll was he at, Bruce, Saturday night up in Michigan?
In my hometown, Fremont, Michigan.
Okay. Is that a Region 2 hook?
Yes.
Or is that Wolverine? Okay.
Yep. Joe, if you remember the Gilliland guys, Todd was the guy who put that show on.
Yeah.
The Old Suspicion of Ignorance.
Yeah. Good guy. Yeah.
So yeah, you build another tractor pull. I'm not sure what Thomas is saying there. Thomas, if you want to elaborate, come back in. Greg Parker says, awesome pull, Joe. Ben Kane. Hey, I bet you recognize that guy. Great job, Joe, from California. So.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's one of the brothers of the Canes.
Okay,
and,
that.
Yep.
Let's see here. Joe, would you say the biggest struggle in the limited class right now are the rear ends? Naps have been fighting it. Hasn't he? Question mark.
Yeah, we all are. It's I don't know. It's gonna, like I said, we got 3 weekends coming, and I got 3 rear ends. You know, I'm gonna have 3 rear ends, and you know, we're gonna be ready for it. That's all I can say. It's just, I don't care if it breaks getting towed off the track or where it's been doing it, you know. But I just and anybody in the class, I just don't want anybody to break halfway down the track, because when the motor's over rev, it throws the rods out, or it stretches them out, or knocks your bell springs apart. And I just, it's too much work, you know, and it, you know, it just, I hate to be defeated by, you know, by that damn rear end breakage. But, you know, that's all I can say. You know, it just, the tires are hooking too hard. It's 8,000 pounds. I think we had 16 weights in the sled the other night. There was no more weight to be put in the sled. He could have moved the trip up maybe a little bit, but, you know, powers are great. You know, I just, I trust them 100%. And, you know, I could tell by Knapp's run that it was probably going to give me about a 360, 70 run, to be honest with you, just gauging it. And, we bombed her out there a little further, but I don't, you just got to be careful when you get out that far, knowing what the track is, you're starting to run out of track, so you be careful you don't tear the tires up. But, I'll tell you what, Saturday night and people, as much money as they spent to come there to enjoy that show and camping, God bless them. We need them people. And I'll put a hell of a run out of my tractor. That thing costs $4,000 or $5,000 a run. They go down the track every time. That's what it costs. I mean, with repairs and maintenance, insurance, fuel to get down the road. So so obviously we're doing it to entertain the crowd. And, I know there's guys that complain a little bit. They think the sled should have been set up a little bit more, but if you got all the weight in the sled, just let us run with it. And, I feel like everybody in our classes are professionals and they can handle, they won't get out of control or get stupid or whatever, so I feel like, it's good for the crowd. And I'd rather take a 360, 70, 80 run or something like that. It's so much easier on my equipment. It's just, I can get out there in that mid track and just really get some speed up. And, it's just good for everybody, so, I got my vote there. I'd never take a 296 run again. It just, I feel like I would be, a wheel fell off or something if I was that short. So
that'd be bad. Rust also says, are you going to go to Rockwell this year?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a great pull. Them guys worked hard to build such a beautiful facility, and it's a shame, the way the dates worked out. But Langford's 1 mile from my house, and I got to go to Rockwell, but that's fine. That's what the schedule is. I committed to it, and I'm looking very forward to go to Rockwell, Iowa, and it's a beautiful town, and the people are great, and we can't wait.
How long did it take you to get home from Toma, or what was the travel in hours, Joe?
I don't know. I think 13 hours, okay. But the minute we pull in, I drop the gate, tractor comes out, and it, goes into a cleaning. And then we went in the shop, and about 9 o'clock, I was about out of steam, but I, need to look at Oberg's, and that will tell me what the motors need for the week, and then, like I said, we got some other things that we got to address here, to try to get a little better at this thing. And, so she's getting a little tune up in the shop right now. So she's okay. Nice. So
I think he addressed this but somebody asked you if you miss mini pulling, and you said basically your body doesn't. Yeah,
my body don't. Yeah. But no, it's a great class. It's
grown like crazy. In both the big circuits with Champions Tour, Lucas Oil. Sure. I remember Roos probably 5-6 years ago, we go down to Mountain City and announce. We'd be lucky if we'd have 6 or 7 of them. Now they had 28 of them in Farley, a couple weeks ago.
Right. So awesome. It's good class. It's really competitive. You can push them around with one hand, and but no, it's a good crowd pleaser, and it's good for everybody.
We got to keep throwing the sponsor plugs in here. Ben Kane says, Joe, you are a legend of pulling. Glad you are running with Emax compressor with Matt. You are a great man in my book. Good for you and your team. Jason Ratt coming through tonight with all the questions. When building a chassis, do you do it in a CAD? If so, do you stimulate stress points, frame flex, etc.?
Yeah, I wish I was that good. If you come to my shop, you're going to get soapstone on the floor, and that's what Ralph Banner taught me. And we're pretty old school, but we use a lot of common sense. I'm not real wealthy, but I'm blessed in common sense, and I'm not bragging, but I can tell you I got some old timers. My dad was one. You use your head, and it's pretty cool to have all that CAD and all that stuff, and and all that, and we got to the point where we subbed all that stuff out at the end, where we had guys laser cutting parts and all that just to make a really nice, clean looking product, when we finished up. But as far as, I remember Ralph Banner telling me one time, he said, sometimes if you come out of the trailer and you miss the ramps and the tractor smashes on the ground, he feels like that relieves it and the damn thing will pull in after that. So it's, so we've heard everything. I've put my tractor on blocks in the winter and, made it stretch itself the opposite way, and you know, it's kind of funny, all the different things, you know, but it all comes down to, you know, X amount of horsepower, gear ratio, tire, you know, tire pressure, and where to spot the sled, you know, and I would say that's more than anything that a CAD program will tell you, you know.
No, that's good. Robert Capo, this is a good one. I like this one. Have a good story, memory with either Ken Vinnie, Roger Simon, John Mumma. Any of those guys?
Oh yeah, they're all good. You know, John Mumma would talk to him, talking to Marty there, Wilson, and you know, just telling me about, you know, he was just such a good guy, you know, and Roger Simons, you know, them are the, you know, just they're legends in my book, you know, just a lot of fun, and they raised a beautiful family, and the kids are carrying on a hell of a torch there with, you know, like I think they're up to like 35 pulling vehicles now, I think.
37,
you know, or,
37, Joe. 37.
Yeah, okay. But now they're doing a good job, you know, and it's, you know, that Brad went up there to work with them, and one of the Nelson's boys, you know, so I mean, they got some good guys there, you know, helping them along, and you know, they bring a good package there. But
I know you do a lot with Ken Vinnie.
I mean, what do you got?
There was a little lag on the internet. Joe. I didn't mean to talk on top of you. Give us your favorite Ken Vinnie story.
Well, I Rockwell, Iowa, 4 years ago, I had a fuel line or something come loose, and I nipped 3-4 pistons in the motors, you know, and so no big deal. I think we got rained out the next day, or I might bump the sled. I don't know. So Ricky Rose, just an awesome guy, great family, you know, just, well, he'll bring it over to our shop, and that's so. I'm in his shop, and we got the tractor all tore apart, building a motor, and he'd be shipping parts and pistons and stuff. I didn't want to take my spare motor out of the ceiling. I just wanted to fix it. We had time, you know, between that and Toma. And Ken Vinnie walks in, and he's got his cup of coffee. It's 9:45 in the morning. The guy don't get up real early, and he comes out with his coffee, and he's walking around, and I'm over here, and, you know, trying to torque rods, and I had this outrageous cold chill go through my body, like, you know, like this guy's watching, and it's not it's not the way he would do it. It's the way I've been doing it for years. Been working pretty good, but this guy, I mean, he just you could just feel it in you, you know, and he just shook his head and turned around and walked out the door. So I went ahead, torqued 8 rods, put a pan on her, and hell, I don't know, we finished the year with it, and everything stayed in there pretty good. But Ken, he just he's a second dad to me, you know. I just he's just a good guy, you know. I don't
think anybody can argue with that, Joe, at all.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we all build different kinds of motor combinations, and, you know, Brad Anderson and the Minor Brothers and all that. But, you know, as long as Ken Vinnie's in my life, it'll always be a Vinnie engine, you know. And it's, you know, the guy's been real good, you know, and he's worked with so many people through the years and helped them. John Card, Sassy Engines, and, you know, Brian Knox, all these guys, you know, he dropped a lot of knowledge and ideas down, and, you know, but things are changing and moving on. Ken's getting older, and, you know, I'm glad to see him settling down. I hate to see him on the road. I mean, we ran 80 mile an hour all day yesterday, and I'll tell you what, it's just, it is a hard, long day, you know, and I just think of that 82-year-old man out there in that big rig, you know, and it's, that's just a long, hard day for an old guy, you know. I'm feeling it. I know he'll feel it. So
Ken's going to be out, Marty said, Chapel Hill?
He'll be at Norwalk, Ohio. It's
That's right.
Yeah.
That big thing. Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be real good for him. And, you know, that's special for him to go there. And it, yeah, so he'll have a lot of fun up there. That's going to be a great pull. All the people that got together that put that show on and all that, God bless them. That's a good deal. They work hard, and we need more venues like that. Lucas Oil's doing a good job, you know, putting those pretty classy places on there, and we'll be down to Chapel Hill with NTPA, and that's a first class place if you ask me, you know. So it's hard to be in 2 places at once. I mean, I'd rather drive 3.5 hours to Norwalk, but obviously I'm committed to the national deal, and so we'll go down there and eat some fried chicken.
Fair enough. I know Esden Lane has always told me that the most hospitable pole he goes to is Chapel Hill.
Yeah, they do a good job. Miss old Chris Gilbert, he's just such a good guy, but all the guys out there, carrying the place on and taking his place, it took 5 guys to replace Chris, but, they're all doing a good job, and we're looking forward to seeing them here in 3 weeks.
Nice. I don't want you to answer this question because you never ever want to pick your favorite sled because you'll hurt. And that's one thing a tractor puller never does. But can you talk about the sleds over the years, like the different sleds you've pulled until today's machines?
Bauer's got really consistent sleds between his orange one and his purple one, and I watch them real close, because that's part of my formula to get this thing down the track, but Richard Love's got really good sleds, he works really hard to put a good combination together. Bumgard out of I believe Missouri, all them guys, they're not that far off. I have certain sleds that are awesome and that I just choose that I would pull with every weekend, and that's what I feel my success comes from is just having that same sled consistency. And I know every tooth in a sprocket I can feel on the one sled there that I like to run with all the time, and that seems to help work pretty good for me. But no, all the guys they do a good job with them. It's a lot of work. They're the first guy into the show and the last one to leave when it's always raining Sunday night when them guys are leaving. So
Yep.
they deserve a big thank you.
We know this season has been a bit tougher than usual for parts. Having 4 engines plus spares, how much harder has this season been preparing than in the past, Joe?
I already have all my stuff for next year already. Just if we don't blow everything apart, we got enough parts to rebuild it all. If we start dropping motors, then we'll address that. As it comes. If we got to go to blocks and more heads or whatever. But right now, I mean, my deal is pretty good shape. But I know there's a lot of guys struggling. I'll give my shirt off my back. I've offered parts to people, blower belts already and that. And even some of my guys that have my suppliers are like, Joe, don't be so nice because you're going to get in trouble. And it's like, yeah, you're probably right. Don't give all your blower belts away. So I've, right now we're in good shape, but I can see it's a problem out there. It just, the whole country, is definitely in a setback, and, it just, people just need to get it out of their head and just kind of step up and move forward and forget all the nonsense. And I think everybody can go back to work real quickly,
Yeah. Cheers to that.
There's a lot of work out there. Everybody just go back to work, get a job, and you'll all be fine.
So Russ Dostal is excited you're coming to Rockwell. So you need a 3X t-shirt for him, Joe. Okay.
Okay.
So give him a t-shirt.
Yeah. We haven't made shirts yet of the new ones, so we're just it takes us usually about 5-6 months, leg time with us. I'm more concerned about tractor right now than I am the t-shirts and all that. But
you focus on the tractor. Russ will live without a t-shirt, Joe. I promise.
Okay.
Colin Burkholt says, "Are you ever going to allow anyone else to have the Enderley distance record?"
It was close last year. There, the Chastain boy, I got a kick out of him. He pulled like 4 minutes before me and laid down, I think, a 392, and I came out, and I think I'm out there at 394 and that. But yeah, it can be done. It's we go into that show. It's our last one, and I don't know. Just last year, I just knew going in there that I just had everything 100%. And, sometimes you can just, you can hit them on the head and, but sometimes you can come home and be lucky to be in the top 5. So, but yeah, it can definitely be beaten, but we're going to keep shooting for her if we can.
How much movable weight do you have with your tractor? Again, Joe, if you don't want to answer that, if that's the secret, we don't need to talk about it, but I'm just putting them up on the screen.
Yeah, it's getting tight, with again, with safety on this thing, you got to keep up with the rules and what they're requiring to do and stuff. So everything like that's always adding weight. So it's pinching the weight on us, getting closer all the time. But we're making the class, so right now it's good feeling not to have to drain fuel out of my tank. It's a great part. So,
Paul, what did Wayne Purser say? What's he want the weight to go up to so he can run the 7? What did he tell you?
He said it's an unlimited class. Let's make unlimited weight. No, he wants it, I think, to 85.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. But honestly, the more weight you put on this thing, the more we gear it down, and now it turns into a huge torque machine, and it's going to just really break rear ends. So it honestly, down the road, if we get all burned out on rear ends and stuff and whatever's going to be happening here this year, I think it'd be good to go back to, if we could go back to like a good 3-motor tractor like Bollinger's thing, I think a good, movable weight, something like that, 7,800 pounds or something, and, that would probably be a little easier on parts, but, it's, we'll just see what happens, and maybe we won't have any trouble, but right now it's looking like it's gonna keep us on our toes. That's what I can tell you.
I'm still caught up with the 18 minutes to swap out a rear end. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, everything that's doing it in the shop, in the field, it'll be an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I'm excited. I want to. Actually, I did pop the rear end out of the thing here today and checked everything out because that's what we do. And, did a little time trial by myself. And if everything stays out of my way, I can make a lot of things happen. And it came right out really quick. It was pretty cool.
Good.
Joe, when you talk about breaking the rear ends, is it, and again, not giving away any secrets or any information, is it limited to one part in the rear end, or does it just shuck everything?
Well, what it does, it's the pinion bearings right now is what we're all struggling with. And when the bearing goes bad, obviously the pinion goes sideways, and, that big tooth, big ugly cog coming around there, and that pinion's just, chewing its way around. And now all the ones you make clearance, and now it just rolls the teeth right off of it. And then, there's 2.5 teeth on contact on most of the ratios that we run. And, it's not enough if anything goes sideways a little bit. When it gets any more clearance than that, it opens it up, and it'll give it a chance to really just make lunch in there. And like I said, I can feel probably 3 of these that happened. And the problem that's bad is I'll be at, like that 280 run the other night, 380 run. That one there was clean. That was a good safe, that was a smooth one. But I've been in runs before where I'll hit 330, 340, and I know I'm going to be out there to 350, 60 run. And it's at what point do you want to lift? And, I just, it's like going down through and staring at an oil pressure gauge, and you're watching it coming down into the 60s, 40s, 30s, and like, at what point do you lift? And, Ralph Banner or Dave Banner that one time told me, he said, "You're going to let a $20 oil pressure gauge tell you can't pull?" And he went out there and made a run and threw all the rods out of the motor. It was unbelievable. And Ralph came back and he said, "Well, it wasn't an oil pressure gauge." So it was pretty funny. But it's fun when you're going down through and you got to make that decision, and you can feel the vibration coming on where it's, the pinion's starting to come out of this thing. And, it's just at what point, so that's years of experience. That's a good feeling to have, to be able to troubleshoot this, but you get greedy though when you're up and you're at speed and you don't want to give up, so because the difference between second place and third place is $200, so I got to have it.
Yeah. Well, and every 100 RPMs that thing pulls down, it just becomes an absolute torque monster.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's a problem we have. If a 4-engine tractor like this, every tractor is geared relevant to what the tractor is. So, you take a 4-engine tractor and you get one motor that goes down, you're losing 25%, and that's huge. And you get an unexperienced guy that runs the thing out there, and he's still going to go 298 and bogs the thing down, almost goes into a wheel hop. I mean, poor Craig at SCS can't make enough gears and axles and parts, drive shafts and couplers to replace everything that guy wrecked, because they put such a torque curve into it. It turns into an Allison just like that. It's this driveline, like mine, we're running an overdrive in the gearbox, and it's putting her up there pretty fast going into the pinion. Everything's happy, but when you take a motor down, something happens, boy, does it really make that stuff stress. So again, that's another decision. At what point do you lift the throttle and leave the clutches alone and leave the crankshafts alone, because you're gonna really hurt that stuff quick.
Yep.
So one thing, and I can get up, Joe, are you okay? Keep going.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm having fun here.
Okay, no, this is great. I don't want to wear you out. I don't want you to hate us.
No, you're good.
Let's talk about. I'm getting a lot of questions. Ryan Rusink has a bunch in his page. I want to go through, but can you talk about the Coney Island restaurant down in Florida and how that all started? And
yeah, that's my original one is in Crystal River, and then I'm in a partnership on the second one in Wildwood, which is right at the Villages, and that's going good. I got a and his son and his wife are great. They're just probably I know a lot of people throughout the country world, and I got to probably put them in the top 8 people, the best people I know, just honest as can be, which just makes a relationship with me on that deal. But just that's their deal. They know restaurants. I don't. I'm good at taking the garbage out, fixing a chair, and putting a shelf up. That's what I'm good at. When it comes to the restaurant. But I can refill drinks. I have a good time. I talk with the people. I give a lot of stuff away. So that makes me happy. So, but and we just we're under contract right now of another location in a small little town. So we're pretty excited to basically we're going to be within 40 miles now of 3 locations, and that's as far as I want to go with that. And as long as I got this great management team, to handle that, I'm going to stay home, keep farming, keep doing my mulch thing, and obviously my racing, and then just have that go to during the winter. And it's been a good career. They're doing a good job. So
this is the Facebook page of the Crystal River location. Yep. That's your first one, Joe? Yeah. Yep. Okay, so these are some of the you have some collector cars, right? Yeah.
I got 6 old cars at my house, but that one there, that's a 38 GMC. I bought it in Tampa, and believe it or not, I took it off the trailer. I painted it with a brush, and of course, the red couldn't get dry enough fast enough so I could blend the yellow in. But if you go careful, you can make it all come together. But yeah, I painted that up.
You got Christmas lights on it, Joe. I love it.
Yeah, it's live. Must be live right now because I still got the lights on her. But yeah, and then that red beacon on top, that's off like an AT&T tower, and at night I got a light in there, and it's pretty cool. A lot of people stop and get their picture taken with that, and I built a box on the back, make it look like a little, delivery van. So pretty
Love
cool.
The stacks.
Yeah,
Love the stacks.
Yeah, that's PVC pipe painted up there. So, but yeah, that's been a good place. Really enjoying it. Like I said, I got good management down there. My manager in the store is overlooked by my my good friend that that handles it all, and just everybody's doing their job. And like I said, when I go into town and see them, and if they do a good job, I take care of them, and I ain't afraid to throw them a little extra money, or do a car payment for them or whatever, because it doesn't matter to me. They got to live too, and everybody's been good to me. I'm going to be good to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No wonder you can't drive a mini rod anymore, Joe. Look at all that good food. I'd be.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
I'd have to get into a semi, a 20,000 pound semi. So.
There you go.
Is that some wings, or what do we got there?
Chicken wings, I guess.
Yep.
Yep. Getting sauced up. So.
Getting sauced up.
I had a good time building that place. Out in the country here, and where we are in New York, we don't we don't do permits or nothing like that. We build it, ask for a permit later. And, I wanted to get started and build a restaurant. And, they said, yeah, you better wait for your permit. And all said and done, that was Mother's Day weekend. And it was, I believe it was August 18th that we got our first permit to, start building. And boy, that was a long summer. I just, I couldn't understand why it takes so long to get a permit and all that. But
it's a government. It's a government.
Yeah, well,
ridiculous.
When you're in Crystal River, you're 2 feet above sea level. You dig a hole in the yard, you get water to fill in at, 11, 12, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That water will fill in that hole. It's amazing. Tide comes in, so everything to do with that whole project had to be, sea level. That thing is 9 foot 1 inch above sea level. The floor level is in there in case we get that 100-year flood, so. But
good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry now, so I got to get rid of that screen.
Yeah,
That actually
same
looked pretty
here.
good.
We can not look at that anymore.
All right, so we got some funny questions, Joe. So play along with me. Favorite food, pizza or tacos?
I guess I'll go pizza.
Okay. Okay, let's get specific. What kind of pizza?
I like a thinner crust. I used to be the big thick crust guy, but I'll go with the thin crust, and I like not too crazy, but I don't like the anchovies and stuff on there, but I like a pizza with a little bit of stuff going on there, give her some character.
Good deal. Busch Light or Coors Light?
Busch Light's been a good beer. They had a cooler full of Toma the other night. Boy, I drank 2 of them back to back. Just that felt good in the winter circle having a couple beers. So
I bet. George Strait or Garth Brooks?
I'm a George Strait fan for sure. He's just amazing.
Hell yeah.
You just made best friends with Paul right there.
Hell yeah. Garth Brooks sucks.
Yeah, Garth's good. They're great entertainers, but old George, he's simple Simon,
You can't mess with the king.
That's right.
Yeah. Favorite place to pull, Joe? That's a common question from fans. I know that's hard, but
Yeah.
maybe give us a top 5 or 6. And again, you don't ever want to. I always feel like if you're a big deal, and if you say something, if you want to pass on that, but
Yeah,
we're gonna let that one go.
I like all the pulls.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to promote a pull, and without promoters, we don't have a place to go.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. No.
yeah.
No, it's a lot of work for all them people. So
Here's a good one. Ryan Majera says, "What's the biggest change in advancement in the unlimited class in the recent years?"
Well, just the tires, have changed our class so much, and and then blowers have been just outrageous, and you take David Richardson's engines there, those Newman engines. I mean, wow, what a piece! I mean, they are just a beautiful, gorgeous motor, and it's they run pretty damn good too. He's going to be a heck of a handful too, and so I mean it's just neat to see all the different guys that built motors through the years, and knowing Keith Black went into Ken Black, and then the Brad Anderson, and it just history, and obviously Ken Benny's told me all this stuff. That's how I know it, but it just amazing how how these big manufacturers just keep building something bigger and better all the time. And now the drag racing world is starting to build so many parts of their own, and they have been doing it for years, so that's it's pretty cool to see Schumacher and John Force and all those guys, these big guys and Colettas, manufacture all their own parts, and that's pretty cool. I respect all them guys for doing that.
Robert Hill wants to know, what's your favorite tractor chassis over the years?
I really like that odd couple. I built, 2 Chevys, 2 Hemis, and and again, got to be put it in perspective. The competition wasn't there. I mean, it was, I feel like it's very competitive now, and that's how we got so good, and 21 straight or whatever, when we went from that tractor into the all 4 Hemis, but it that was a tractor. I had so much confidence in it, backing up to the sled, I had a feeling for it, and a connection, and I started to really have that connection with my blue one I had there last year, and been running that one now for basically 3 years now in the unlimited with that setup, and that's why I had to be really careful. At this point, I'm afraid I'm getting old and going to start getting rusty on my ideas, and like I'm not going to be able to be as sharp as I used to be driving, and it's really, I worry about that all the time. So I spend hours on icy roads with pickup trucks. I might have pickup and just driving on conditions that make me feel like I'm on those conditions. And I know it's weird, but it's what people got to do to get that tractor to the hook and go.
Miles Krieger says, you made a lot of changes to the tractor this offseason after claiming the title last year. What inspired that?
It's a challenge. I love challenges, and I can't, it can't be done. I just get out of bed and go out to the shop and start making something happen. But yeah, he's right. Why would you take something that's working so good? But, it just, like I said, there's so many guys that are, they're just within inches away of really, making it a dominating force for themselves. And we all work equally hard. Everybody works hard at this game. And so I'll never take anything from anybody. And, we get shoved back to 7th or 8th, we're going to work hard to come back. But, if I always feel like if we can stay in the top 5, my goal at Tomo is 5 and 7, for the weekend. And, I was hoping for Saturday night, just to maybe get a 5th place out of that deal. But, it just, sometimes you get a little luck on your side.
That's great. Miles also wants to know, in your career, who has been your biggest rival, Joe? Who made you wake up at 1 a.m. instead of 4:30 to go to the shop?
There's always guys pushing me, but it's a fun story. Rodlin Knox, back in the day, she'd be knitting all day, along the trailer. Brian and John working on the tractor, and I'd go over and talk with her and that, and and it's like I'd walk away from her, and it's like she is so relaxed and all that, and no matter what I do, I got 5 Chevrolets. They had 4 Hemis, and this woman's going to put 75 feet on me tonight, no matter what I do. Like if the sled come out of gear, I maybe had a shot at her, that I was going to beat her that night. But and I just so that's just the fun part of it. Vernon Corey, he's probably watching here. He's such a good guy. Him and Earl Henderson and Charlotte, and when they had Papa Bear. So what I would do, I'd go to all these big pulls. I was committed. And I'd pull in with the school bus, 5-engine Chevy tractor, Chevy Thunder, and we'd go out, lay down our 297, 298, whatever, 301, and 310 was a full pull, and I would jump, tow my stuff back to the hauler, it's ready for tomorrow. I mean, you just never worked on it. You didn't have to. It's reliable, and you'd end up going out, and I'd help usually Earl Henderson and Vernon Corey or anybody that needed help. That's what I did, is I helped everybody because that's what I wanted to do. John Heilman, just all these rock stars were just perfect people in my world. Pat Friels. And I'd help them fuel up, and, it was pretty cool, and then go out and watch them guys just burn the hell out of their stuff down through. And then I'd go over and help Earl Henderson change the motor then, like we did, I think 7 or 8 engines there one year. And, just every night, that's what we did, was change a motor, and Scribner, Nebraska, I remember, hotter than hell. We were out there changing motors, and he'd go out and wreck another one that night, but it's just, it made me who I am. I feel great that I helped them guys. And I mean, I literally wore 9/16 wrenches completely round, so I feel pretty good. We accomplished all that over the years. So
that's super cool. Tara Brittner says, do you remember driving their old diesel Super at the NC State Fair and winning the class?
Yeah. I started the sled, and I'm going to feed the dog. I spotted the sled on the right side, and I asked her dad, Dave Moore. I said, "Hey, has this thing got brakes?" And he said, "Yeah," but he said, "Boy, I don't know. Maybe we need to move over a little bit." And I said, "We got a hell of a shot right down this right sideline." And I had the tracks. I kind of can read a track a little bit. I had that all picked out. I had no idea what the tractor was, the power. And I'll tell you what, when you come into the clutch and you're coming out on the clutch and you push back down on it, and you could make gray go to black and just push the throttle a little bit more. And wow, I got goosebumps telling you about it. That was cool. And I remember, wow, what a hell of a run, And I think we got ahead of Robert Martin that night or that day or whatever. That was pretty cool. That was a good experience. I really appreciated that. They gave me that opportunity.
And that's neat. It's neat to see these questions. We got so many things. I'm trying to track down all the questions, Joe.
Yeah.
Tyler Slaw, he wants to know when the winning streak was, from when to when, that 21.
That'd be a Dan Mayer question, but that would be, let me think. I'm thinking 2002 and into 3, right there. Yeah. I never won a Enderley pull off till, a couple years ago there, but it, I remember, but yeah, it was 21 straight, with the Lucas Oil and the NTPA. And I don't know. And again, the Enderley, I don't remember because I never won an Enderley, until a couple years ago there. So that's finally, we got one of those. I think we got 4 now.
Didn't it start for you in January of 2002 at Fort Wayne? That was the first win, and then it was 21 straight from there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I remember Steve Olson, Brian Knox, they're pulling plugs out of my motors, and like I've never dealt with any of this stuff before. I mean, like, guys, don't we don't have to run this hard, and they were looking at plugs and they were going to tune her right up, and I just put it in their hands, I'll drive it. It was fun. It was a cool ride, but I remember, I just, like I said, it was pretty cool all the years. I can't see any enemies at all in this sport. I mean, it just a great bunch of people all the way along, and the new generation people coming in. I hope I can inspire them, or, just kind of keep them going,
You are. By the amount of people that are watching the show tonight, you are, Joe. Jeremy Krieger, we talked about the restaurants. Do you have a most prestigious win, Joe?
That Enderley deal was pretty cool there, but I don't know. I always take every win as, could be the last one. So, you just, I don't know. I'm pretty gracious on all of them. It's my Louisville things have been awesome. His dad announcing, Harold Wallister, them were back in the days where them guys were them two could just make that crowd go nuts. And I'd go down and bomb that thing in the sand pile. And, we had good pulling there. We did really good and had a lot of fun there at Louisville. So I'd have to say those indoor deals were probably our best ones. We had a lot of fun there.
Marty Wilson says, do you have a good Larry Kester story?
We were at Fort Recovery, Ohio, and his daughter-in-law there, Jamie Lynn, was walking by, and Larry's just such a singing man. The guy would sing all the time, and I remember I said, "Hey, Larry, have you ever seen the most beautiful girl?" And then he went on and he sang the rest. And Jamie Lynn was just cherry red and all that. And she hugged him and hugged me. It was just funny. It was just perfect time. But missed the boy dearly. It was so good to see Kester's get that win this weekend for Larry's tractor. And it they carry a big torch there, and they do a great job. And what a wonderful family. So I miss Larry. At Chapel Hill, I believe I won that night, Friday night, and he looked at me, he said, "Damn, Joe," he said, "you can drive. You are a driving son of," and he had all this language there, but that made me feel pretty good to have a guy like that tell me I can get a tractor down the track. So
is little Joe wanting? Lisa Joe Stock wants to know, is little Joe wanting to get into pulling?
he ran a couple little garden tractors, just a little, small little tractors and stuff. So I imagine down the road we'll do something. But if I was smart, I'd probably get him into a butterfly collection or something. It'd sure save me quite a few thousands of dollars. But we'll help him out. We'll do whatever. That's pretty cute. Thank you for asking.
Can you imagine like being a garden tractor puller and you're there with your kids and here comes Joe Eder? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
we're screwed.
Yeah, no, I know it. That'd be pretty neat though. But
you just wait, Rack. He's coming for you.
Yeah. This is a great question. We've had a couple of these now.
Yes.
Is it difficult to find SFI gloves that fit your large hands and fingers? Anyone that has shaken hands with Joe understands this. I don't know how he has dexterity to start a 10 to 24 volt with those beat hooks.
Yeah, we can stretch them out. It's pretty funny. I helped Dote race team. Leah Pruitt was a driver there, and it was pretty funny. I did 4 races with him there, and I didn't want anything to do with the motor. I mean, honestly, my job was picking up dirty water bottles, empty ones, but I remember working on the car, and they said, Joe, grab 3 and 5 and get 2 and 4 on the other side, pulling sleeves out of the motor. And the motor would be hot, obviously. After a round, you got about 70 minutes to pull this motor apart, put it back together. And so the motor was hot. And I remember I could shove a grease rag over my hand, put it down in the piston. It was like a 4-310 bore. So, I mean, it was just perfect. I could make a fist and rock it, and I could pull that sleeve right out of that motor. It was pretty cool. And they thought the world of that. But that was pretty neat. But, yeah, it's just we come from a sawmill. It's all you did is pile lumber and logs and then, a dairy farm and all that. So you work with your hands, and I guess they get big after a while. But, so we can get fire gloves to fit. That's no problem.
I love it. Where's your first pull ever with the single engine? Very first pull ever. Do you remember?
Ashtabula, Ohio. It's funny, I talked about it this weekend to my buddy Barney there, and I took, it was a single engine carbureted tractor engine and big block Chevy. And I had no idea how much VP was going to take, C14 racing fuel. So I thought it'd be wise to bring about 25 gallon. And I think it used 1.5 quarts on its first run, So so I had all this gas with me in the bathroom. I remember the old bus. I bought Bob Moore's old school bus, Ashtabula, Ohio. And, I just remember Meadville, Pennsylvania, and, just Wattsburg, Pennsylvania. And it is pretty cool. Just Cuba, New York, Langford, obviously, and, all the surrounding pulls around. And it was a good time, just about 15 and a half, 16 years old, so I remember we had to sign a letter to get a license for the membership. And I remember running the bus without a license. You don't need that. They don't have them nowadays anyways. So but yeah, we had a good time. It's pretty cool.
Love it. Where would you remember your first win, Joe?
That was Cuba, New York, in a 3-engine mod. And then we went to Troy, Pennsylvania the night after and backed it up with another one. And it was Dwayne Hotown, Hardwick Flyer was our tractor. That was our biggest competitor at the time. And then I don't think we won after that for quite a while. It was just one of those 2 weekends in a row thing. But yeah, it was neat. I remember that big old guy coming up on my fender and shaking my hand, shaking the hell out of me, but you could see it bothered him, and but we weren't out there to stir anybody up. We were just out to pull and try to learn the game,
That's awesome. Hey, Charles, I want you to calculate Joe's fuel mileage, please, with 23.5 gallons and 380 feet. And you're just a guy for this, okay? So,
he spent all the money.
Yeah.
Smiles per gallon.
Smiles per gallon. That's the answer.
Miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Has the fuel for your mod went sky high like normal gas, or has that racing or not racing stuff? What I don't even know.
Alcohol. I buy a trailer load at a time. I supply a couple guys here, with fuel and stuff. But for myself, that tractor to warm it, make a pass, and if you got to do a pull off, it's a 55-gallon drum. So you burn a drum in one hit, so it goes pretty good, pretty quick. But I think we're at like 220 a gallon. So, and it was like $1.69 or so. So it really not bad. It hasn't, I don't think I run the real high test stuff, but it works good for my old tractor. So.
No, I like it. I like it. Guys, I have gone through all my questions in the first hour and a half of the show. Cody, Charles, Paul, Ryan, I went through yours. I think I picked them all out of your Facebook page. What else do we got for Joe?
On the 370-foot pass, he used 1 gallon of fuel every 15.4 feet.
15 feet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's a lot of power. I remember years ago, sitting in the stands or sidelines, and it just shake the ground. But they say mine, Richardson, and Knapp's tractor there just shook the ground really hard the other night there at Toma, and Miles was telling there, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a lot of fuel, a lot of compression, and a lot of magneto, and it makes a bomb. It just when the bomb comes apart, it's the biggest thing. So,
Joe, what do you get for winning a Grand National Unlimited class? Do you know what the payout? I mean, what do you get for first place for the Unlimited?
I'd be better off to tell you what gear ratio I run and talk to you all about my motor parts and my cam settings than, it's just. So that's the part of the public that it's just we're entertainers, and we just we just like to entertain people, obviously.
Yep.
At our cost. So.
No, I get it. Somebody was just wondering what you get to win.
Yeah,
I know it's not. We all do this for fun, if you will.
Yeah.
Hobby, so.
Yeah. It's just right now. It's all good. So
yep.
We'll
I
just
understand.
entertaining you people, and we got good sponsors. We'll start out with Mac Trailers. Just Mike Connie and his crew for building such a great American product, and some peak oil. I got JC Seneca here. Real nice Indian fuel stop, and they got a Tall Chief restaurant there you can eat at, and I got good sponsors. SCS Gearbox, Craig's been good to me for many years and builds a great product, and SSI blowers, John Card, Sassy Engine's been real good to me, and it's without them people, and then Emax, Matt Kane, and trusting us to go out and represent his product, and hold the flag there, and so that's what makes it all possible for me. It costs a lot of money to do this, but I just want to have enough to keep going down the road and just keep coming back every weekend and try to have a good running tractor and put on a good show.
No, that's great. What is your engine combination that you're running now?
As far as the motors, or
yeah,
Ken Benny, builds my motors, and
okay.
Yeah, it's just a big old motor that he builds, and it seems to run okay.
Yeah, it seems to run okay.
He says.
Yeah, not bad.
How far does Ken live from you? Well, how long does it take you? 3 hours, did you say?
Yeah, it's just 3 hours. It's just at 200 miles there. So, but.
I'm gotten through the questions, so I think we can wrap it up with Joe here pretty quick, unless you guys got something else. Hour 38, Joe. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I got one for you I've always been curious about it. I know you put the Odd Couple had a lot of secrets in the frame, but one thing I've never asked you about was, did you give any thought to trying to do anything with different ratios in the crossbox or whatever to get the Chevys and the Hemis to play nice, or you just bolt them on and say, you kids behave?
Yeah, that's pretty much. I always had the Hemi, Chrysler Hemi, always liked to turn 7,500. That's where it was. And the Chevrolet, the way we were tuned years ago, we were 6,800, 69. So I said, you know what? this make a hell of a combination. We could come out of the hole and have a lot of low end torque, and then once we get hooked up, and Joe does his magic, to get hooked up and get that first 80 foot out of the sled and really get up and rolling, and then let the Hemis take over. And I think that's what made that tractor so potent. I mean, we put 2 more Hemis on there, and it ran really good. But that tractor taught me so much, by being positive in every direction. It was just good everywhere, and it just told me there that, boy, that the Odd Couple, this is a pretty cool tractor. So that was a good one. I really enjoyed it.
It was fun to watch. I was there at Fort Wayne when you got that first win and got to see it at Farm Show, I think, for the next round, and followed it. So that was a cool time.
Yeah, that was a good time. Worked good.
We covered sponsors, covered family, we covered the restaurants, we covered the mulching. But tell us a little bit about the mulching business, Joe, that you have.
I got a hardwood bark mulch facility. We buy bark from sawmills and truck it in, and then we basically grind it, color it, and we just do a natural brown and a black. And we got 31 different locations that we take the product to. It might be 1 truckload. Some places might take 50 throughout the year. So believe it or not, I got a load to go the minute we get off this thing. I got 1 more load to hit. It'll just be about a 50-minute run. So, but I left the guy's gate open, and I'm going to go dump a load of brown in there and get them closed up. But it's been a good business. It, this year with fuel, we all can complain, but we're about $50,000-$60,000 higher than last year on fuel. So it's always hard to capture that money. Try to be good and loyal to your customers, but you're going to have to raise the price a little to carry these expenses. But it's a good business, but it hits. We farm 1,200 acres of soybeans, and on nice days you can get 40 hours in pretty quick. So and then with pulling season coming up and all that, so spring's our busiest time of the year. So we're glad we got through the mulch season. We got 1 week yet before that pretty much closes down for the year, 4th of July, and then obviously farming's done, and obviously the racing, we're just time to go. We're up and ready to roll now. So
I love it. Well, yeah. Joe, unless the guys want to ask you anything else, I think we should go let you deliver your load of mulch. This has been the longest interview we've ever had with one person, and you have been gracious with your time, your stories. The one thing that we all get when we run into fans at the polls is they love the little tidbits and the stories and the knowledge and stuff that we just don't know about, and that's pretty neat that you shared all that with us tonight, Joe.
Yeah, it's good, and it's just I think it's just important that everybody sitting in the stands and kids and families need to know everything, and it's good to take the time and share that with them. And, hopefully you can make a difference down the road. Yep.
Well, Joe, thank you for your time. You have a good night, and I'll bump into you at Rockwell. So.
Okay. That sounds good. You had one.
Joe, before you go, I actually have 2 questions for you. And one is a ridiculous question, but my buddy, Super Dave Osborne, made me ask it. Does pineapple belong on pizza or not?
You can do that. If you cook that,
yes!
If you bake that extra hard and you can get that crispy, that pineapple turns that's pretty good.
Joe, you come to Rockwell a week or a day early, and you stop at my house. I'm in Des Moines. I am 2 hours south of there. I will make you a Hawaiian pizza.
Okay.
And it will be awesome. Good. And that is an honest to God invite. If you want to take me up on that, you are more than welcome.
Sounds
the last question I have is the one that I ask every guest. If you can, and I had no idea that you pulled all the things that you have pulled in your career. I knew mods, I knew minis, didn't know anything about Davey Moore's tractor or any of these or any of the others. So I'm going to ask this. If you could steal the keys, so to speak, to anything, past or present, to go pulling for a weekend, what would you take the keys to, and where would you pull it, and why?
Oh, back in the day, and I bought his road tractor, J.R. Collins Buckeye Bulldog, and I always thought, a semi would be really cool. I'm such a Mack truck fan. I love Mack trucks, and that V8. I haven't taken the old girl for ice cream. That's all that girl gets used for. It's got its own personal shop. It's that truck is just. I told JR, I promised him they would be well taken care of forever, and the truck looks exactly the way it was, when he had it. And there's over 3 million miles on that truck, and so that's pretty cool. But I've always wanted to. I think the biggest thrill of my life would be to drive that old Superliner with 4 turbos on it. There, I got goosebumps telling you about it. But Tacoma, Bowling Green, and just the flames and the full pull and the crowd jumping up and going crazy and all that. But so it's pretty cool. It's I would say a good run in semi would be fun, but I don't know, after some of these good runs we've been having here with our unlimited, it's pretty hard to be like driving a big black Corvette down the road with a Chevette on a bumpy road, so
I know a few semi-pullers who might take a little offense to a Chevette on a bumpy road.
Yeah, but no, it's I definitely Pat Allen's truck there, boy, that's a pretty cool truck, and
isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, that's first class people. They do a beautiful job with all their stuff, and we're just really fortunate to have such a good sport with such good people, and everybody can relate to each other, and I wouldn't I often thought maybe down the road maybe go into a little bit of a some smaller drag car or something like that, but I don't know, I really enjoy the pulling and all that, and I think it would be something I would probably always just want to stick around, just to have all you people,
We hope you do, Joe. We hope you do.
I wonder if Fane's got the got JR's truck back together yet.
I don't know. I saw him up in Hutchinson, but
right. I don't know what they're doing, but I think they're still campaigning it. I think they still got that truck, but.
Well, maybe we'll have to see if we can't call them out at Rockwell. Yeah.
Okay. Now I wouldn't want to hurt it, but no, it's like I said, I've driven 2-wheelers, never a 4-wheel drive truck, and that this is crazy. I was at Ricky Rose's pull, and I've just never watched 4-wheel drive trucks because I just it's a good class. It's competitive. The people in the class are great, but I'm just injected motors just ain't nothing for me, so I don't really watch them much. And Ben Ellis was going down through, and he's making a hell of a run, and partway down the track, I could hear the motor revving up a little bit. He backed out of it, he backpedaled it, and he took off, and the thing laid down, and he hooked up, and he just hauled butt, and he won the class. And wow, that was awesome. And I went right up, and I known Ben a long time, and he become my hero now since he did that. And so that was pretty cool. So I respect all classes. It's everyone's got talent. It's every class has got their own deal, and we're just happy to be able to mix around and do what we've done.
Gotcha. Joe, thank you for your time. You've been super gracious.
Thank you.
You still got work to do tonight. This you made my entire day knowing we get to talk to you tonight. So thank you for working with us on the computer, and keep kicking ass. Have a great season, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you, and we'll catch y'all guys down the road here somewhere along the way. Okay.
Sounds good, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
Yep. We'll see you.
Thanks, Joe.
Joe Eder. We just talked to Joe Eder for an hour and 48 minutes, guys. That's this makes me very happy. Very, very happy. So, like I'm a little like I don't know what else to say.
How do you follow that?
Somebody talk.
Appreciate his respect for the history of the sport too. Like it just comes through in what he's saying and the names he mentions. That's it's not about him. It's about the sport of the enterprise itself, and I really appreciate that.
I did too.
That was neat. I don't know. I hope I got all the questions in, guys. Bruce, I went through your timeline. I didn't check my Instagram, but I couldn't get to all of them. We'd be on here for another hour or so. So I think, but that was worth going over our time limit. That we've only stuck to once because Misty, we got to keep Misty happy. But Jason Rack, you guys, what makes this great is the comments that, like, I had a bunch of people at Toma come up and say, we watch your show every Monday night and we look forward to it, and it just makes you feel good, gets you pumped up, because we've been doing this for a long time, guys, every Monday night of our lives. I mean, it's a lot of work, and but we love it. And I guess, to hear Joe say the fans need to know this, where else do you get to sit down with them yet? Our sport really hasn't grabbed the podcast thing, like drag racing has and circle drag. We're telling the stories, guys, and we're allowing them. We're giving them an audience, because you guys, the numbers are gigantic tonight. Like, this is a big one, and they stayed steady until an hour and a half. Then I think people started. It's 11 o'clock at your house, Charles. So
yep.
And that was neat. And like I said, he is a very, very humble guy. And Marty Wilson, you are like the pit crew to everybody. I know it's like you go to a poll and Marty will have like 7 different crew shirts on. I'm like, but Marty. So, but no, Marty, I ran into him at Toma. We haven't caught up in a while because of COVID. And Doug and I were driving home from Manila, Iowa, and he's like, "You want to get Joe on the show?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I talked to Joe about an hour before the show, and then got him on. It was great. So, but thank you, Marty, for setting it up. Marty sent me a bunch of pictures and videos, and I haven't had a chance to upload. It's hard with TikTok, or he texted them to me. I'd have to download them to the computer to get them up. So, we can go for a few minutes. Charles, kind of, what'd you do last weekend? What's coming up for you? Let's do that and kind of wrap this up.
I got baptized by Nitro. I went to Norwalk for NHRA. Spent all weekend out there. Yeah. And what a riot. If you've never seen Nitro cars, go do it. You will not regret it. It'll rearrange your insides. You won't need a chiropractor or a therapeutic massage. Just let 22,000 horsepower take all the knots out of your back. It works awesome. That was my weekend. Shot a ton of pictures that I'll get trotting those out. And next weekend, one of the oldest pools I have kept doing over the years, Port Hope, Michigan. It's always 4th of July with Thumb Track Pulling Association. Friday night with their sanctioned classes, and then Saturday is Antiques and Farm Stocks. And I'm actually going to go stay up there. Got an Airbnb at a cabin on the lake and chill out with the kids for 4 days, and that'll be next weekend.
Nice. See, like this comment on here from Brian Lawton. I know these are kind of comments I love to see it for us. That was a great interview, guys. Joe and I have been friends since 4th grade in school, and he's definitely one of the most humblest guys out there. So, to have their fans come on here and talk about that stuff. We have an amazing This Is How We Roll coming up next week. I got a whole tour of Mike Conley's operation at Hutchinson. I'm trying to work it on 2 new shows for YouTube, guys. Behind the Helmet is where I'm just going to sit down with pullers. Got Dennis and Matt Goodwin. That was so fun to have Dennis and Matt pinned down for 30 minutes. I grew up watching those guys. Then we're going to do a This Is How We Roll. We're going to tour people's toters and show how we live on the weekends. We got one with Tate Ray, Julia's husband, took us through the whole thing. And then Mike was sitting in the toter in his sandals. We'd come walking up in there. His grandkids were building Legos, and that's going to debut next week on YouTube. But it's pretty awesome to see all of that stuff. So love it. And then Brenton Rogers says Port Hope is an awesome pool. So
it is. The crowd gets into that show up there. I mean, they're engaged with what's going on the track. That's why I keep doing it. I have a ball going up there.
So we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're talking about Mountain City. That's where Cody and Ryan were. And I was talking to Wegel all day Thursday and Friday. And, what do you want me to update on Facebook? Blah, 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 blah. But the coolest thing they did when they got rained out, and Bruce or Cody, go ahead and take over. Tell what you guys did Friday night. It's awesome.
Well, Cody didn't do squat because his ass didn't come down.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Here's what we do to Cody. You have to go in the penalty box.
Bye-bye.
Cody's in the penalty box for a few minutes. We'll bring him back on. So, all right, Ryan.
So it's what you would expect. See, the weather, we got rain in the morning, and that ground is kind of gumbo. It's real soft soil. And the pits were kind of a mess. They were real squishy. The track was fine. We could have run the show on the track. It would have been great. It would have been a hell of a track. But getting fans in and out would have been a nightmare. Getting haulers in and out would have been a nightmare. It would have been a lot of messes to clean up. And so, Chris said, you know what? Let's hold off. Let's do the best we can. Let's put on the best show we can and let the fans get in and out safely. So rather than, they already had a bunch of haulers there. 70-80% of the people who were going to compete were already in town. So they parked them across the street at an old truck stop, and they said, "Well, we're going to open up the beer garden at whenever on Friday, and we're going to put Toma up on the big screen, and we're going to have us a party." And they had a band, and they had a bar, and there was ice and beer, and there was Toma, and RJ was sweating bullets because Brandon brought the Pro Stocks up there, and they had just finished buttoning up the motors for both of those Pro Stocks, 2:30 in the morning on Friday morning. They hadn't gone through the motors in a while, and they found a couple of issues in one of them, and the other desperately needed some attention anyway. And so after a little bit of a mad scramble and some airplanes, parts were obtained, motors were bolted together, and then they got the call that Mountain City canceled. And so Brandon said, screw it. I'm turning around. I'm going to Toma.
He spent about 7 total hours there Friday. Like I saw him come in and I saw him leave.
Yeah, and with the assistance of a bolt cutter, he was able to get out of Toma.
Oh, good.
And then away he went, drove through a monsoon to get down to Mountain City.
Yep.
And then he came out and then he won. Yeah.
Yep.
So he has kept his.
He closed that back gate at Toma, guys, so nobody can come in, because there's all that stuff in there. I can see. I don't think Brandon used a bolt cutter. He probably just went up and he's like Eder, just yanked it apart, walked away.
No, Big gave him the bolt cutter, actually.
Oh, perfect.
So
Big White Peter on TikTok, follow him.
So yeah, we had a good night. Friday night, just watched the poll, hung out, watched RJ hyperventilate. It was good to see him stop hyperventilating. And then on Saturday, we had a terrific show. We had a great crowd. Everybody was happy to be there. We had the most gorgeous sunset I have ever seen. Your cordless grinder. Nice. Nice.
Oh, Simon, that's awesome.
Powered by Milwaukee. Jason, pop one of those pictures from the album, the one of Kevin at sunset.
Yep, give me a second. I didn't get anything in the private chat on that, so I need about.
No, that's fine.
It's on your personal timeline, right?
Yeah, and Portia wants to say hi too, by the way.
Oh, Portia.
What's the matter?
Is it the Pro Stocks?
Yeah, but you'll know it when you see it.
So am I the right one?
Look for a sunset picture. Keep scrolling.
Loud and loaded. Shramix got out?
Yep.
Paul.
Had both of them.
Paul, you pulled it off. Ryan, you take freaking awesome pictures, buddy. I don't like to give you a lot of compliments, but I'm going to give you that one.
Yeah, my head won't fit through the door now.
It wouldn't fit before because you're a big dude. So, God, those are awesome. Awesome photos. Loud and heavy.
No, go to the actual album itself.
Okay.
Scroll down.
Photos. Albums. Right there.
There you go. That is largely unedited. It is not straight off the camera because nothing ever goes out straight off the camera for me. But that was what Sunset looked like. I've never seen anything like it.
It's beautiful.
And if you click to the right, there's Brad's, and then one more time.
Oh.
Yeah, how's that?
Yeah, I'm going to buy that and make that big, Ryan. Wow.
Even though it's got half of Brad Begman's face in it.
Yep. I was going to say, I recognize that roll cage.
Change of pace. We can do that. There we go. That's awesome.
So yeah, it was a beautiful evening. We had a nice breeze. It was hot, but we had a nice breeze, and track held up really well.
The Ether Eater. Mastersons were out. Good to see.
Yeah, that was cool. It was good to talk to Kevin and Patrick and the team, and Hartman's picked up a nice win with the 4-1s, and they had the entire family out. So Mom was out, and Andrew's wife and little boy Leroy. There's a really cute photo of Leroy with a terrified looking Andrew Hartman's son in his arms. You can find that on Twitter or wherever you digest social media, because I think Leroy posted it everywhere.
Yeah.
And we made it through the show in really fast time. I was really surprised. We're done by the last photo I took was 22 minutes past 10. And so I quick packed up and bailed and headed for home, and I was home by 2:15.
This has to be the photo we're talking about.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
Little man is looking at this giant human, saying, "What are we doing here?"
Yep. Looked at him like he's a John Deere fan. That kind of got that face. Like, what? You talking to me, Willis?
Yeah.
Hartman had an awesome interview. Ken Summers sent me his video of him making an exhibition pass. It ended up being a holy crap. And he was heading for the roller and had to get out of it. And then that front end just slammed down. But I heard Hartman talking, and that was neat to hear him talk about that. His dad. So that was pretty neat to hear that.
Yeah. And they've started that. They've established that scholarship fund.
Yep.
Which is amazing. I'm really, really happy for those guys. That's a terrific way to honor Dad.
That's cool.
And and Mound City is the first place I ever met the Hartman family. It's the first place I ever met Quentin, as a matter of fact. Okay. Standing in one of the same spots where I took that picture with the purple sunset with all the tractors lined up. Quentin was getting ready to make a pass, and he was sitting in the tractor, and I just introduced myself, and he said, "Thank you for what you do." He didn't know who the hell I was, and my photos were horrible at the time. But he thanked me, and he said, "We appreciate that." And I never forgot that.
Love it. Love it. Cody, you got anything to say, or did Roos cover it all?
Pretty much covered most of it. So
no. Talk about Paige. Give her some props.
Oh, yeah. So Chris was announcing
No. Say the last name.
Huh?
Say the last name. You need to prove that you can say it.
Kerpalik?
Kerpkawite.
Kerpkawite. I was gonna say I butchered it every time. So Paige has started taking pictures for Nebraska Bush, and she shot some and whatnot. So she came up and brought a chair up and tried to help shoot some pictures. Of course, I leave, and then I get a message from her that she broke her camera. So
she did. I was there.
He was there. So I leave her in the supervision of Ryan, and he breaks the camera. But so No, so she's trying to do and learn type of thing and take pictures. So she's trying to run and help, and so instead of running the sled, she's gonna work on that and take some pictures for them as she's going. And so she's 14, 15, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so starting young, so it's kind of exciting to get some more people in the area to start going and doing that. So
Adam Wilson, if you're watching, I need you to text me with some perspective after owning that RX-10 for a year or two. Let me know what you think of it, because I recommended it. I thought it'd be a good potential replacement machine for her. Wanting your blessing on that. So, Adam, if you are watching,
he was watching earlier. So.
Hit me up.
Paul, what's going on in your life, buddy?
Well, still trying to get guys on the track. Had a lot of guys come to us that say, "Hey, we're still waiting on this. Can you do it?" So, working on that. Guys that have broke, needing help. One of them was at Mound City. Just trying to get that done. And then we broke ground on our new shop. We are expanding, getting some more equipment. I made a flying trip to Houston last week to pick some of it up. Drove down one day, picked it up that morning, turned around and drove back. So trying to get that all done. We haven't really started pulling yet. July is when it really starts to kick in. One of the first pulls. There's been a few, but we haven't been able to hit them. But in July, we'll start with our tractor and with Bernie's, trying to get it going. Like the first big hook that we've got, the first one that we've got together is the Fisher Fair, which I know we're going to be promoting on Beer Money a little bit. They've got a ITPA hook one night, and then they've got a PPL hook the next night. First time for a PPL. They're going to have the limited pros, the two-wheel drive trucks, and they're going to have the Champions Tour Superstock diesel trucks there. So that's the Kessler family. Jacob and Kurt run the night shift, I believe it's called now, the light super. So look forward to getting started doing that. But right now it's just trying to get guys going and get the new shop rolling.
Nice.
Other thing, I guess, this week, where I'm headed this week, Friday night, Burlington Junction, Missouri has a Northwest Missouri pull. It is the 44th annual pull, so it's not a new pull by any means. But they've got a great little track down there they work on, so I'll be there Friday night. Saturday will be New Market. They do a big 4th of July celebration. They do track pulls in the afternoon and have a glorious fireworks at night. And then, I don't know, Sunday there's Clearfield as well, but I don't know if I'll make that one too or not. So that's next on the schedule for me. Nice.
I'm looking for a cool video to show you guys, but I was in Toma Thursday and Friday and had a blast. It was Schultz Mortgage Team was a class sponsor Friday night at the Limited Pro class, so I got to interview the top 3. And my wife and our friends and the McDonald's kids handed out 1,500 koozies that said Schultz Mortgage Team on one side and Beer Money on the other, so that was fun. Senpico gives out 4,000 koozies at Toma, so they have me beat. I'm going to have to step up my koozie game, I guess, a little bit. So that was neat to see that. And then Saturday we headed for Manila, Iowa, and that is a neat little town, just well kept and neat. We pulled right next to the grain bins, and I took my camera out, Cody, and I set it on auto. And I took some photos, and but we had a good time. Mark Cam was there, so he was shooting the good photos. But it was a blast. It was a blast. So
it's about time you finally got to see the coolness that is that tiny little town.
It's neat.
Yeah. Did they sell? Did they drink the beer trucks dry again?
You know, I don't know. I didn't ask.
Because they did last year.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Because that's the one that they rained it out, right? And then, or no, they should have rained it out, but they didn't. They didn't give up, right?
Yeah, they really probably should have. 95% of other promoters would have said "F it" and called it, and they would have sent the crowd home. not these guys. They said, well, get out the cat, and they got out a D6 or D7 or whatever it was, and they scraped off a foot of track and made it impossible for Cody and I to shoot, and we didn't care because the crowd stuck around. There were like 7 people who left, and they've been ostracized and thrown out of the town since then. And they kept drinking and waiting. And when we got back to pulling, they cheered loud. They drank more booze, and it was awesome. That town is dedicated to pulling.
I never thought I'd have to say it. I've had to shoot over a pile of mud to shoot tractors, but it was literally like almost chest high.
Yet there we were.
Yep. So
there was a lot of people standing at the end of the track, kind of that beer garden. And Mark Ham just said the garden had patrons still after he left for home. So
yeah,
that's good. And then Colin, I forgot about this, but actually I got to sign autographs from Toma guy at the kids club. It was awesome. There's 284 kids. So I think Rank Seed, who else sponsored that? Cal 97 is a big country station up here north of Toma. And they give out t-shirts to all the kids. The kids would color the t-shirts, guys. And then there was Dan Schulte, Tony McDonald, myself, and Jeff Martine with the Hustler Super Farm. Esden was supposed to be there, but he was broken. He broke in Hutchinson, and Nathan Hoffman was supposed to be there too. But I don't know if they had their mini rod running yet, and they weren't back. But that was neat to have all those little kids in there and do all that. So that was pretty cool. So well done for the kids. A lot of local kids. So this, I found this on TikTok. You guys got to check this out. This is amazing.
This is insane.
This guy stayed in it. He never left, as Charles would say. He didn't.
Never left.
You guys see the guy smoking the pipe right there? He never even moved. This old boy before that. But this whole shot was pretty wicked. Right there. All the way up. Here's the guy with the pipe right here.
He was probably used to concrete pulling and waiting to throw his hand back,
That is officially the strongest 4440 front end on the planet.
Yeah.
Hey, before we sign off, I got to give a shout out to my hometown, Todd Gilliland. From everything that I've been told and everything that I've seen, that was a hell of a show. Way to go for your first show, buddy. Todd and his dad used to pull NTPA Region 2 mods. They had an old banner chassis, and they did a fantastic job with that back when I was just a kid. And they got out of it. And a year or two ago, we started seeing Todd's name on more pulling-related posts on social. And suddenly he decided he was going to go feet first or head first. And he was going to bring a show to Fremont, to my hometown. And in order to do that, he had a little bit bigger job than most, because he had to build, or he and the Newaygo County Fair Board, or whoever it was that was in charge of all that, they had to build a track, a brand new facility. And not only did they do it, they did it well. The track held together very well. The town came out to support it. I saw pictures of the stands from David Wood and Charles. You've probably seen the same photos. I'm so proud of the town of Fremont. I love those guys. I love my hometown, and I love the fact that they came out and supported that event. And I will make the promise to Todd, I will be there sometime soon, and I will shoot that event for you.
And this year with the new track, there's going to be actually 3 pulls in Fremont this year.
Yeah. So they're breaking that track in good and proper. Lisa said that the crowd was terrific. Jason said it was a great job. They're going to need to put a roof over those bleachers, and they're probably going to need to move some concessions down closer to that area of the fairgrounds. But if I know the people in my hometown, that won't be a real hard thing to do. So, but yeah, the town showed up in massive form. Like Jason, you would have been proud to have this crowd at Churn and Dirt.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
Awesome. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Well, guys, I'm gonna play some Joe Eder, and it is Joe Eder because I listened to his voicemail today. I always thought it was Eder, so I didn't have to go into that, but it is Joe Eder. That's how he calls himself, so I think we should call him the same thing. And that was a good one, fellers. And thank you for coming on. I know it's a busy week. I'm heading to Watertown, South Dakota. My sister's getting married this weekend, and then my dad and Doug will have the Remedy in Concord, Nebraska, and Rock Valley. So July 7th, 8th, and 9th, because I have my in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary. So life is good.
Man, I hope Joe Eder comes over to my house for dinner before Rockwell. Charles, you're invited too, by the way.
If you don't go live, if you get Joe Eder in your house, petting your kitty cats, I want to see that. So, with his big hands, like Dr. Evil.
Hazley would make mincemeat of him.
You guys are great. Thanks for doing this every Monday night with us. And I'm going to play some videos. You guys go to bed. So
later.
See you.
So here's some Joe Eder videos that Marty Wilson sent me. So I'm going to throw these up here. Marty, thanks for this. Joe Eder, you're a good dude. We appreciate you. Sorry. A little choked up there. So here we go. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all of you liking, commenting, sharing all of our posts.
Roger Simon did it twice. Roger Simon swept in 2000 and in 2001. He actually won 8 out of 9 consecutive events there. He won 8 out of 9, it looks like. Or actually, he won in 98, 99, swept in 2000, swept in 2001, and won again in 2002. So Roger Simon did it twice, and then Jesse Petro. So he is the 6th time that has happened in the two-wheel drive class.
That's a pretty good list right there, and Greer Hamilton doing it there. I kind of thought Greer may have done it, but I wasn't for sure. So
yes, sir. He is one of the 5 individuals. Roger still running as fast backwards as he possibly could. Oh my! How about it now, Tom? Are we having fun yet?
Yeah, we kicked up this class with a plowing of the things out of bounds. 380.045. First place right now.
Are you interested in promoting or increasing the attendance of your truck and tractor pull event? My name is Jason Schultz, owner of the Beer Money Pulling Team, which has over 1.3 million followers across Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Our goal is to grow the sport of truck and tractor pulling and increase the awareness of the sport through our social media presence and highly engaged audience. We want to partner with you and help you grow the attendance of your event. We have a ton of promotional opportunities available and a full-time social media coordinator to make sure your investment is taken care of. For more information on promotional opportunities, give me a call, 608-604-5068.